I don't want to really do what I see other people doing, like coming on live and then having people wait for you to say something. But I'm trying to wait for people to come in so that I won't have to repeat myself. I'm actually just going to say this and get off because I just kind of wanted to pop in and let you guys know why I haven't been online and I haven't really been live. And it's because I've been actually I've been trying to redo my craft room, and it's been a lot. I've been cleaning out closets and trying to get things situated, and it's been taking me a while because, wait a minute, y'all. It's hurting laying on this earring. Hold on. Ooh, that was hurting. So, I've been trying to get things together in this house. And then I had to deal with my cat, and then I'm dealing with a lot of, hey, Margaret. I have not been feeling well for almost a week now. I've been feeling really bad. And I remembered that, hey, babe, I remembered that I had a hernia, esophageal, what is it called? Hiatal hernia, or something like that, whatever. And I've been having these symptoms that have been just plaguing me, and every time I eat, it hurt, and just different things going on. So I haven't really felt like doing a live. And then with my craft room being messed up, with me trying to reorganize things or whatever, I just have not been in the mood to do any videos. So guys, I'm trying to see if I can come back this week sometime because I really miss you guys and I want to. Ouch. Thank you for the super chat, honey. Thank you so much for the super chat. But I know I look rough. I look how I feel. I look bad and I feel bad. And it's just a whole bunch of stuff going on, and I think I just needed to take a break with all that I was doing. And I'm in a bad flare right now, lupus flare right now. And it's just not going away. Yesterday I fell up the steps. Thank God I wasn't down the steps. But I fell up the steps because my I have those spurs, those crystals or whatever they call them, on my bones and my foot. So sometimes my foot just gives out with no advance warning. It just gives out, and as I walk, I thank God somebody's always around me, or is something around me to always catch me before I hit the ground. But yesterday, when I was coming up the steps, my ankle popped, and I fell going up the steps and spilled all the soda on the wall, on the steps, everywhere, on my legs, my feet, my shoes, and everything. And for me, this is a part of my lupus battle. That because I've been on steroids for so long, I've been on steroids since I think 2008, if not longer, and so that affects my bones. My bones are deteriorating. I've known that for about a few years. I've known that because I had a bone density scan, and the doctor said that my bones are prone to breaking, but thank God I never had a bone to break. Never had a bone to break, thank God. But if I keep falling like I did yesterday, a break is sure to happen, because I literally, and it was hard, and I couldn't say anything because my husband was on his program, so I couldn't scream. but that hurt really bad. So I'm just going through a lot right now physically. Um, it's just part of my life with lupus. And people don't understand a lot of things about lupus. If you don't really know about lupus, you won't understand how we deal with stuff. One day we're okay, one day we're not. A flare could last for a day, a week, a month, or whatever, and you just don't know how long the flare is going to last. Last week it looked like this eye was getting messed up like this one. Nobody still knows what that is. I'm getting new stuff across my face. This is all lupus related. And sometimes it's just really depressing. But I can say that, you know, I didn't have all of this on my face when I was younger. So I'm glad about that. If I had to have it being older, it's good. I know I was just trying to respect you on your program because you were teaching a great lesson and I did not want to interrupt you. So I just fell and hobbled myself back up the steps. So this is a vlog about lupus basically because I'm not crafting tonight. But it's just so much that goes into having to deal with lupus. And now I'm dealing with this hernia. And it feels like it has gotten bigger because of the symptoms that I'm having are just horrible. So I'm dealing with that. And I've been calling my doctors to try to get an appointment. So hopefully they'll call me back tomorrow. And if not, then I'll call them back and find out if I can get in. My husband really tried to call the ambulance on me today to get me to go to the emergency room. But they don't do anything when you go to the emergency room at the hospital that I deal with. They say it has to be life-threatening. Although a hernia could be life-threatening if it bursts or, something happens like that. But I don't feel that in my spirit that it's going to burst. But it's hurting, but it's bigger than what it was. I know this for a fact. So I have to go get that checked out. But these are some of the things that people go through when they have stuff. Lupus stuff. And I didn't do any makeup or anything like that because I wanted you guys to just see the full effect of what is actually going on with me. And, although I look at myself and I'm like, oh, I look like a monster. I say that to my husband all the time. He's like, no, you don't. You're still beautiful to me. So, this is one of the things that I'm dealing with. And people don't understand that when you go through, if you have a lot of people, I guess people with all kind of problems, medical problems, go through depression and sometimes anger. And, like my mom had 13 children. Why was I the one that had to come up with with lupus? Not saying that I wish my sisters or brothers would have anything. I'm just questioning why was I the only one that had to come up with this. You know what I'm saying? But then I go through my little pity party and then I'm okay. But today was a particularly bad day. And when people don't usually, when they feel like you're a strong person or you're a strong-willed person or on the outside it seems like you're okay, people don't generally ask you if you're okay. They just kind of expect you to be without really knowing what's going on. And because I always try to put on a brave face in front of people, it's hard for people to really know when I'm going through something because I don't generally tell them. But my page, if you read in the description, my page is also about me talking about what I go through dealing with lupus. Because it could help somebody. I don't know. Because everybody deals with stuff differently. But in my case, with me dealing with the lupus, it's just getting harder and harder for me to deal with a lot of the symptoms. And somebody said something to me today that made me really, it didn't make me angry, but it kind of was like reality check. And she was saying that, your condition seems to be worsening and you may need an aid in the evening too. You know, hey Shawana, and I didn't want to deal with that um, revelation. I didn't want to deal with that, even though I know that this is probably going to be my process, but I don't want to think about that, because thinking about that to me is like admitting defeat or accepting defeat. And I'm like, nah, I'm not about that life, so it's not going to happen. Hi, Gigi. So, um, today was a particularly bad day for me. And, um, it's just something that happens. I'm sure I'm not the only person who goes through that. I'm sure I'm not the only person who has lupus that has good days and has bad days, because I'm sure we all do. Even if you don't have autoimmune disease, just as humans, we have good days and we have bad days. But coping with the fact that you're deteriorating is just like, it's not easy to handle. And I'm human, so I deal with it sometimes just like a normal human being. I'll cry, I get upset. And that's what today was. That's what today was. Falling up the steps, hurting my ankle, hurting my wrist, all of this stuff going on at the same time. So it's just a lot sometimes when you're dealing with disease, I would say, or some type of medical issue. And, I look at myself when I pass the mirror, I'm just like, Heifer, you need to do something about that stomach because you look real crazy right now. But it's the hernia. I finally figured it out like yesterday. I was like, oh, that's what it is, because I forgot that I even had a hernia. And then, God just kept bringing it back to my remembrance about this hernia thing. I was like, oh, yeah, I had forgot about that, but that's exactly what it is. That's wrong with my stomach. Well, the top part of it anyway. The top part of it anyway is part of, the hernia. That's why my stomach is sticking out like it is. And now I feel better about my stomach sticking out like that because there is a reason. It's not because I'm Miss Piggy over here and eating everything in sight, because that's not true. But it's due to this hernia. And I'm like, I just bought clothes that I used to could wear in that size, and those clothes are fitting my stomach. And now I realize it's because of the hernia. So, when God gives you revelation about something and he explains things to you and show you things, then you feel a little bit better. It is not changing the problem, but it feels a little bit better. That God don't only hear me, but he talks to me and explains things to me where I don't even have an answer of myself. So he brought it back to my remembrance about the hernia. I was like, dang, okay. So now I know basically like what's going on in that quadrant of my body. So, I just haven't been feeling well. And then, with lupus, you just go through emotional stuff. And some days I just cry because I don't even have a reason. Some days I just cry. And, but today I was hurting really bad and I still am. But, let me just show y'all. I'm not going to pull up my shirt or nothing like that, but this is my stomach. Okay. And this is, the pain is under here. All through here, under here. And just to touch it right here, it really hurts. And the last doctor I went to, she's talking about, oh, that's just your rib. She didn't even read my medical records, and I didn't think about it at the time. But this thing has been hurting for a long time. And my stomach should not be this big. Like, this is like I'm pregnant. I'm having triplets or something. But, this is what's going on. So, of course, I was dealing with my self-esteem, looking like somebody's 57-year-old pregnant wife. And I'm definitely not that, because I don't even have a uterus, so I can't be pregnant. Oh, that's funny. But so this is what's going on with me right now. So this is my face and my stomach and all the stuff going on. As you can see, my skin. I just wanted you guys to see, like, for real, what's going on. This monstrosity done got on my face. This stuff right here is just ridiculous. I mean, just ridiculous. I'm allergic to everything. See all of this right here? That's what I'm going through right now. Somebody else might say, girl, that ain't nothing. People got more problems than that. And you worrying about your face and your stomach? Well, their problem is not my problem. And I deal with my problem the way I deal with my problem. And they deal with their problems the way they deal with their problems. Everybody's wilderness is different. So I can't compare myself to somebody else. And nobody should compare themselves to me. Even if they do have the same type of lupus I have. No two people are alike. Everybody goes through different symptoms and different things. You can have the same exact kind of symptoms or disease or whatever, but somebody else might, deal with it differently. I worry about my husband. He just got a diagnosis that wasn't good. And I worry about him. I'm like, what is going on? But we're old. My husband will be 70 years old this year. And even though he has cerebral palsy, everything that he's had to deal with, he has dealt with it amazingly. Amazingly. He is actually my example of going through stuff, really going through it. Because when I first met him, I would go through stuff and it would just be crazy, crazy, crazy. But I have been with him for 22 years and I see how he goes through things. And I try not to say too much because I don't want to worry him. But because we know each other so well, we know when something's going on with each other. So, just with his diagnosis, I just been quietly worrying about him. And then his mom, his mom is 91. I've been just thinking about her, even though she just looks so good when we went to go see her last week. She's so cute and short. She is the funniest too. She just be laughing, and I swear I don't know what she be talking about, but I just be laughing with her because she just be laughing, and that's how her mother was. They just laugh at everything. You don't even know what they laughing at, but it's funny because as her mind is sharp as I don't know what. The lady, her mind is sharp, but as a 91-year-old, you know that their memory and stuff deteriorates and they go through certain things, but she's still just smart as a whip. She's opinionated. She gonna say what she want to say. And just on that alone, you gotta laugh because his mother is the funniest. And it's just like seeing his grandmother all over again because she was just like that. She just sit around and laugh and be like, I don't know what you talking about, but you just gotta laugh with her. So, and then I had the situation with my cat. My cat is crazy, but we took her to the rescue today, and they promised that they were going to give her another home. They're not going to put her down because she's not a vicious cat or anything like that, but she was used to me and my husband and Rhonda, and I started having other people coming in. The different aides were coming in, and she didn't like that, so she attacked one of the aides. She jumped on her and bit her and was about to scratch her and all. I mean, she did scratch her actually, but she looked like she was getting ready to jump in the girl's face, and then she acted like she was coming after me. I was like, boo, you gotta go. I can't deal with that. So I finally took her to the animal shelter today, and they promised me that they were not going to put her to sleep, but they're going to pair her with another couple or a single person, so she'll be all right. So I felt good when I left the place that, she'll be going to another home because, I can't chase after the cat. If she jump on my husband and attack my husband, she already did me. She act like she was going to get me. And I can't do that, I can't chase a cat and be scared to go to sleep because the cat might come up and get me while I'm asleep. Nah, I can't live that kind of life. So I just gave her to the people so they can find her a nice home. And it kind of hurt because we had her for 5 years. And just sitting there, when I had to hand her off, it was like you was handing off one of your kids. And she was just meowing. Meow, meow. She was calling Gerald. Meow. That's what she sounded like. She was calling Gerald. So, I got peace of mind though because we did the right thing and we took her to the shelter. And it's a shelter where they really, the last resort is euthanasia, and they said only if she was rabid, or if they took her out the cage and she was trying to attack people. They said she hissed a couple of times, but that's to be expected because she don't know where she is. But they're going to watch her for a couple of days, and then they're going to introduce her to other animals or whatever and see how she reacts and all of that. And the people going to be going in and out talking to her, and checking her out and everything. And then they'll put her up for adoption. So they told me to call in a week, to email them in a week to see if she had been placed or anything. But she was our baby. We had her since she was a baby. And, having to give her up at 5 years old for really something that wasn't really her fault. But I could understand that the cat's senses they were just overreacting because there was so many people coming in here for me. And they had cats and they had dogs, and she's getting all these smells and sensations and stuff. It was too much for her. But I didn't realize that. But I got to look out for my health. I have people coming in here to assist me, and they can't be coming in here if the cat's going to be attacking them. So I had to make that choice based on my health and what I need, right now. But she's in a good place, so I believe them when they say they don't like euthanize. They don't like killing. They don't like putting them to sleep. They don't like doing that, and that's their last resort. And I had peace when I left. I didn't have any, trepidation or anything like that. I really had peace by dropping her off today. So this has been my life for the last week or so. With trying to restructure my room and deal with this cat, and then deal with this hernia, and then deal with this lupus flare. All of this at the same time is a bit too much for me. But I said, let me come on and talk to you all and let you know what's going on. I haven't disappeared. But when I feel like it again, when I feel like crafting again, I will definitely be back on, and, with my antics as I usually do. Probably get Rhonda in the picture a couple of times. And she actually did. I'll show y'all. Maybe I'll pop in tomorrow when she gets here and show y'all tomorrow. She actually did a great job with that shelf. She finally did it. They installed it in my closet in my room yesterday. And she really did a good job. It was a struggle. See, I can't put stuff together anymore. I don't have the patience for it. I just cannot and will not. And Rhonda has been a gem doing everything. Every shelf that I needed to put together, she did it. And she wanted to. She liked to put stuff together, y'all. So I'll show y'all the closet probably tomorrow, because she really did a good job with it. And I got the shelves off of Amazon. And it's a nice shelf. It's a really nice shelf. And it fit in my closet just perfectly. So I'm thinking about getting the same kind for my husband. If he wants one, I'll get him one. He just be like, no, everything's cool. You can leave it just like it is. That's how he is. So it can stay like it is forever, and he won't say nothing. But I'm going to see if he want one. If he does, then I'll get him one. Because it's a really nice shelf. And I only pay $85 for it. So that was good. And then another thing I forgot to tell y'all is not only about my foot giving out on me, but my back. Like, I can't walk any distance. I can't go to the grocery store and shop. I can't go to the dollar store and shop. And what took me back was when I had told my husband, I said, babe, I read up on hiatal hernias, whatever they're called. And one of the symptoms that I have been going through when I've been going to the store and I've been taking my walker with the seat on it, one of the symptoms that I had was sweating and nauseous, like, and out of breath. I've been having every one of those symptoms. Every time I try to walk around in the store, every time I try to walk around the house too much, I'm having these symptoms where I get short of breath. I start sweating crazy. It's in the store mostly. And I feel like I got to throw up. And I'm like, oh my God. Okay, Shawana, thanks for dropping in. But that's what was happening. And when I was reading up on it this evening, I was like, babe, I got the same symptoms of the hernia. Um, and that's why I was like, Lord, I thank you for showing me this, because I would have never put two and two together like that. But he had me go on my records and read my records. He said it. I heard him say it. Go into your my pen and read your records. And I read it, and then I looked up the thing, and I saw everything. I was like, well, dang. So I feel better about the fact that I know what's going on, but I got to get something done about it, because I don't want this thing to bust. And I ain't trying to have all that. So, girl, when the Lord speak to you, or you hear a voice and you think it's the Lord, or you believe it's the Lord, you better listen. Because that's the same thing that happened when I had the aneurysms. I didn't know nothing. I knew nothing about aneurysms at all. Nothing. And I remember when my husband and I lived in New Jersey, I remember I had come downstairs, and I think I was getting ready to go back up the steps, but I remember I had my hand on the banister. I was going back up the steps, and the Holy Spirit said, you have aneurysm. I was like, aneurysm? Yeah, right. Okay, whatever that is. And I kind of didn't pay it no mind, but I was getting these headaches, these major, major headaches. And guess what? When we got to the hospital, how many aneurysms that I had that first time, Gerald? I think it was two. I think it was two. It was two or three. And she told me to go to Jefferson Hospital in Philadelphia and get them coiled off. And I never did. I never did. They went away. God healed them. So years later, here we go with the headaches again. And I go back to the hospital. I'll go to the neurologist. And he tells me to go to, okay, it was three. He tells me to go to get a CAT scan of my head, because he couldn't understand why I was having all these symptoms. And then he said, oh, I'm going to have to refer you to the neurosurgeon because you have aneurysms. I think my husband was the one that told me to go to the doctor that time, because the headaches were so severe. And my husband be catching on to stuff, and he'd be like, you remember you had them aneurysms before, you better go see about it. And that's the same thing he's saying now about this hernia. He was like, you better go see about it. And when he gets like that, every single time he gets like that, I get to the doctor just in time. So with him telling me to go see my doctor, now he's saying it with force. He's saying it with well, how do you say it? With urgency. He's saying it with urgency. So when he gets like that, I listen. So I made the phone calls today. Nobody got back to me, but I am going to be calling them back tomorrow. I'm going to make a pest of myself until they answer me. And then, and we'll go from there. So hopefully I'll be back on this week. I know I'm not going on Wednesday. I'm not sure about tomorrow. My husband has a program tomorrow and Wednesday. But one of those days I'm going to go on. It's probably not going to be Wednesday, because Wednesdays, his program really runs late on Wednesday. So I probably won't do that on Wednesday. But I'm going to try to do something on tomorrow. And I'm going to call my sister friend Cynthia and ask her if she want to do the mirror vases. So if we could do the mirror vases, we'll probably do that tomorrow evening. Okay, at 7:30 p.m. But I just kind of wanted to let y'all know what was going on. I miss you guys. I miss interacting with you all, because it just gives me joy when y'all interact with me. I really, really appreciate the fact that you all interact with me. So I just wanted to say that, let you know what's going on. Try to keep you updated. Be like, where that girl at? That crazy girl, her and Rhonda, where they at? So we'll try to peep in tomorrow, okay? All right, guys. Talk to you later. Pray for a sister, okay? All right. Those are my kids. That's my dad. That's me in the middle, and that's my kids and grandkids in that little picture right there. So I keep them by my bed so I can see them all the time. And I have a new grandson. We have a new grandson. His name is Isaiah. Yep. So now we have a Nehemiah, Jeremiah, and an Isaiah. Isn't that nice that all of the boys have biblical names? None of the girls do. None of the girls do. We have Symphony, Evelyn, and Minuet. Yep. I know, right? I was having a brain fart. I should have remembered it. But anyway, so, all right. Good night. Lord willing, we'll be back with you all tomorrow. Okay? All right. Peace, blessings, and love. Y'all see that need to get fixed, right? I use that $4.99 site. Let me stop. All right, y'all. Good night.